All right, good morning, everybody. We're continuing our trek through the top 5 ridiculous top 5 lists, and today I was just kind of figuring out who's going to pitch tonight in the World Series, Game 5. I was trying to figure out who do I like in this game in college football, and then the NFL, who's got, wow, blah, blah, blah. Even I was driving myself crazy. So you know what you do? You fall back to your youth. Isn't it really just an easier time and place? Let's do this today. Top 5 things that occupied my time as a youth. Top 5 things that occupied my time as a youth. And don't be a smart guy. Girls weren't a part of the picture yet. Yeah, I had Playboys, I had forts in the woods, I had all of that stuff. But things that you could actually just go out and do as a kid that you look back and go, pretty simple. Didn't take much to entertain us now, did it? Let's move over to the helpful computer. Here we go. Number 5. Now again, that kid's got a helmet on, and we didn't have those kind of bikes. We had Schwinn's, we had 3-speeds. I don't really know what that whole thing is. But concentrate on the ramps. How much time did you spend as a kid actually building bike ramps? You would jump over whatever. Find some plywood, stick some stuff under it, and then if you got real crazy, you'd build one on the other end, and all of a sudden you were Evel Knievel. On a bicycle. No rockets, no motorcycles, no nothing. Spent a lot of time doing that. Probably also picked up a couple of tetanus shots as well. Let's move on to number 4 on the list of things you did as a kid. Truly, the biggest waste of time in the history of my life was spent playing electric football, but who didn't do it? Nobody ever scored a touchdown. It took you about 9 years to set up a play, and at the end of the day, what did you really have? Probably cancer from whatever this thing was emitting. I'm not really sure what it ultimately did long-term to all of us. I know if you're like me, you spent a lot of time, maybe even painted some of your guys. That was pretty big in a couple of days. The Fitzpatrick house, they actually painted all their players. They thought they were cooler than everybody, those kids. Bottom line is, again, seemed really entertaining at the time. Looking back on it now, really just kind of a big waste of time. You couldn't have told me that when I was 9. All right, number 3, Atari Baseball. This is the originator. I know you got your fancy PlayStation 3, you got your Blu-ray, you got your Wii, you got a whole bunch of other things that I don't necessarily get involved in. But at its time, in its heyday, Atari Baseball, a little bit older than my youth, but still something to fall back on. When you had a group of guys sitting in the basement, you're waiting for WWF, you'd actually play a little Atari Baseball, order your pizzas, and kill hours upon hours, including brain cells on top of that. All right, that comes in at number 3. Number 2, in terms of things that I spent time with in my youth, the greatest stickball player, certainly the most famous of all time, Willie Mays. If I had $1 for every hour I spent playing stickball at IS-24, I'd have a whole lot of dollars, and you might as well. Now, there are different rules. Did you play against a wall with a strike zone? Were you playing like the Willie Mays version in Harlem in the middle of the street? Maybe it's the game of your father's youth. Maybe it's the game of your youth. But different things. Spalding ball, stickball bat, wrap some tape at the end. You got yourself hours and hours of fun. My entire summer, 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock at night on game day was spent playing stickball. All right, let's be honest. Maybe the only other thing that I wasted more time on, and it wasn't necessarily the same amount of hours, but it was the most mindless, yet it didn't seem at the time, passing time moment of, if you're right in my age, if you're in the wheelhouse, here you go. I think you'd probably have to agree. There it is. Coleco football. Now, young Adam, our intern here, he has no idea what this is. Actually, it made a little bit of a comeback, so he got on the back end of it. Much like a lot of other kids who said, wow, isn't that awesome? No, it wasn't really awesome, but it was ours, and it was technology in our day. Whether it was study hall, whether it was preschool, whether it was post-school, playing Coleco football and actually trying to be the best, how many points could you score in a 4-quarter game, that became the goal of every kid to be known as the Coleco champ. You could also mute it, by the way, so the teacher didn't know you were playing it in the back of the room. One of the advantages to truly sitting in the back of the room. All right, have a great day. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you lived or relived a couple of minutes of your youth. Send me some emails at cdimino@79thezone if you got a top 5 list request.